Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man!
All right, episode 102 of Shirt Show. We've got Bruce and Steven on for part 2 of the SHITAVO podcast. Let's go!
Hey, babe.
Hey there, hot stuff.
Check. You there? I like your camo. Thanks. Can you even see me at all? Yeah, it looks like Pantone 300. Check out. I got a new sticker there.
I see that. It's a big, overpowering one.
I feel like it is sort of a little much, you know? Like, look at that thing. Would you look at it?
Would you look at that?
Oh, whoa. I didn't even realize she's covering up that.
Yeah, we can't cover up Mild Boys. We got to scoot it down.
Hold on a second. Okay. Oof.
Does
that look okay?
Oh, looks great. Supporting so much.
Oh, I know. And so for those who don't know, that PGM, that's Print Girl Mafia.
Fuck okay. That is.
Don't get it twisted.
Twisted.
You know who put that there is Varsity Christina.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how people know her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. She came in town, and let me tell you, like, she's a firecracker. Okay, you're laughing because you know it's true, but she came in town for Joanne's birthday, and she made it fantastic.
It's awesome.
I know.
I'm happy for Joe.
It was a nonstop party, basically. So you wake up, party, go to bed. Did you did you go to bed first? So you got like drawings on your face? I went to bed first every single night. That's true. That's correct. I mean, I cannot hang.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just got to kind of sneak off to bed. You know what I mean? You don't say, hey, you don't announce what you're going to do.
You say, hey, ladies, I'm going to bed. And then you do like one of these back walks. And then you swing the doors open.
That's what I did wrong.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, so I mean, so that happened. She left yesterday, and of course we miss her.
I'm surprised you didn't give her a job.
Oh, we tried. Yeah, we were, coming up with excuses for her to stay and
steal her.
Mm-hmm. We were like, you don't need to go back to your kids. They won't miss their mom, right? That doesn't happen.
They probably don't even know who she is at this point.
They forgot. Right. So I don't know, but she decided to go back. She's a good mom, I guess. What else is going on? What are you doing up there?
I went to see Tony, our good buddy Tony, at Tiny Fish in Rochester last Friday. That was fun.
Tony Tiny Fish, yeah. I love him. That's all I could think of to say. Is just
that's all we could talk about when we were there was you.
Of course. I mean, it's obvious. Mm-hmm. And so what'd you guys figure out? Did you figure out
that we love you
problems? And
no, we found out that we both had crushes on you, and we got on the ground and rolled around and wrestled in your honor
to see who would win.
Right.
They're gonna see who will win me over. Okay, well, yeah. Who won?
Tony. He beat me. He knows moves I don't.
Well, okay, cool. So Tony.
So I have to bow out. Here's Tony. He's here now. He's taking over for me.
So what'd you go up there for? Did you look at you tried to learn how to screen print, or like what are you doing up there?
Yeah, I was learning how to screen print, and I still didn't learn anything. So I came back more confused than ever. No, he was here the week before and we hung out, and I wanted to go see him. We go back and forth every so often, check out each other's places and talk shop. And no, it was fun. I went up there, I drove up, took my time, went to the park first, got in some walking in Rochester, and then went and saw him and saw his shop and the improvements he's doing. He's doing a ton of like shop improvements as far as just like painting the ceilings and opening it up and putting in windows, and because he owns the building now.
I saw he knocked out a bunch of giant holes in the back of his building to install
big windows.
For why? For natural light. That's, I mean, I preach that, you know, you want to have, and this is what this episode is going to be about. Actually, one of the things is attracting and retaining a team. And who wants to go to work in a
dark dungeon?
Like exactly. That's not, you know, you go inside and you don't see daylight until you leave, and that's not really a way to live. Right. So I'm proud of Tony for doing that. And also you said you went for a walk up in Rochester, and a lot of people don't know this, but you are like a walkaholic at this point, which I am super proud of. So let's have a little bit of a round of applause. Thanks, Zoom bud. Never picks this up, but maybe
never. It just sounds like weird skid slaps.
There, maybe I mean, that's okay. And we talked last night, and we were comparing our step count because we're trying to get our steps in. And you won by a lot. I had like 12,000 something or other, and you had, drum roll,
20K.
Dude, 20 fucking K.
Well, I've been walking every day around the lake or a different trail or whatever for the past like month, and for the first like a couple of weeks I was like, oh, I gotta at least hit 10,000, and now I've been trying to hit 20,000 every day. So
that's a lot.
Feels good. It feels
and
good.
So I have a feeling this may happen. Ready? And I know you don't want to hear this, and then you will. I almost hope it happens. I mean, that's weird to wish ill upon someone, but I almost hope this happens so that
I break a leg.
No. I don't want that to happen, but I do want you just a minor case of plantar fasciitis so that we can talk and we could we would be on the same level then.
That's not going to happen. I don't know if you can see it. I have fresh kicks on today.
Okay, well, I do a lot of walking in my Vans, which I have on the same ultra range right there.
Yep. Oh, fuck yeah, they're the best. Oh, you got the blue ones.
So look, it doesn't matter. At some point, you could get it. Okay,
it's like walking on clouds. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know if you know this, but I helped your employees out. Me and Kyle were talking, and he was asking me about shoes, and I pushed him in the direction of the ultra range, and he bought them.
I don't believe it.
You're welcome.
Don't talk to my employees.
Oh, I fucking stole him. He's putting in his notice soon. He's fucking mine.
Hey, check this out. Look at that. Look at that coolness. I know you got one of these too. And it came packaged. Dude, I know you put it on your story too, and I put it on my story. It was the most immaculate packaging. I mean, Apple is embarrassed at this point. If they were to see that, their engineers would probably quit.
Did you read that book?
How could I read the whole fucking book already? No,
I did.
Well, you probably didn't read it. You listened.
I did the audiobook while I was walking. Yeah, I finished it in like 3 days.
Exactly. Did he? And look, not only that, he
highlighted the spot.
Oh fuck! I wish he had only done it for me, but he wrote a nice little note too. And
Liam from Fluntold.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I mean, I'm saying I love a lot of people, and maybe that's just
I do. I just love him. Like I want to cuddle him. I want to be the big spoon and have him know that I'm cradling his little spoon body.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have his address. He put his return address.
Do you want to just show up at his house really late at night?
Shipment.
Break in and spoon him?
You're like,
no, I'm not gonna knock. I'm just gonna fucking kick the door and go up to his room. It's New York City. It would be expected.
He'd appreciate that.
I think so.
Anything else, man? Anything else going on? We better change the subject on that.
Well, speaking of walking, I dropped my car off. I just got my new car like a week ago, and I dropped it off to get a hitch put on. And it's this place like near me. It's like a hometown. Like everyone goes there to get a hitch put on. And it's like this old garage, like kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I dropped the car off, and I was like, all right. He's like, well, it'd be about an hour. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just go walk for an hour. And I walked up this steep hill, and then I walked all the way back, and it was an hour, and they weren't done yet, which was fine. But right across the street is this like old bar. And I was like, I'm like super thirsty. It was hot as fuck. And I was like, oh, I'll go into the bar. And I went in, and it was like, you never like see an old Western or something when like someone comes through the saloon doors and it's just like everyone in there turns and looks at you.
Yeah. It's like the swing doors or whatever.
Yeah. Like I came into the bar, and like the bar for some reason on a fucking like Tuesday, or no, it was Monday at 3:00 was packed. And I walked in and there wasn't a single spot at the bar open. Like it was all full of regulars, just like old people drinking on a fucking Monday. Every single person turned and looked at me. And I came in.
Did you have shorts on?
I had shorts on. I had a
They
button
saw
up.
those legs.
Yeah, they saw his legs. God damn it. Give me that legs. And no, it's just funny. Like I walked in and I felt like a city slicker for some reason. Like I came in and I was like, do you guys have bottled water? And he was like, bottled water? And I was like, yeah, do you have like water? And he's like, yeah. And he like went and got me bottled water. First of all, he charged me like $7 for a bottle of water. And then I turned and the dude standing right next to me was at the bar was like my neighbor growing up, Kurt. And it was funny because I used to mow his lawn for money. And he was like, are you a Gilligan? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, hey, Kurt, what's up? And it was just funny because like I walk into this fucking old timey bar and there's people I know in there. But it was a good time. It's fun. It's been a good week.
I would love to have that sort of Main Street old time bar in my town.
Mm-hmm. We have a couple here, but like this was just like, a little bit out of the way. And it was just, like I said, it was funny how packed it was like on a Monday afternoon.
We have a guest all of a sudden that just walked in my office.
Ooh.
Maybe they would give us a wave hi. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Is it Joe?
There it is.
There she is.
Say hi to.
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
He said, fuck off. What a dick. Don't talk to her that way. All right, well.
Frank.
He called me for some advice. Like Frank
called you for advice?
Yeah.
Was on how to be a fucking asshole?
That stung a little.
I'd call you too.
It all starts with the screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Yeah, you're late. You got to come on, head in the game. You need a breath. You need a breath of fresh air.
I do need a breath. I do need a breath of fresh ass. Yeah, more and more I'm seeing, which I love, more and more people switching over to Frank's screens. And I just love the support and seeing everybody be all for
I do
it.
too. And another thing.
And also knowing that their prints are going to be so much better.
Somebody wrote us a long thank you, but most of it's about Frank. Most of it's thanking Frank. And it said, but who is it from? Dang it. I'm going to screw this up. Don't screw this up, Andy.
It's from
Graph. It's from Graph, GRAFX. And then it says NJ at the end. So maybe they're in New Jersey. No, I don't. Maybe it is. Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. Doesn't matter. They write, I wanted to thank you guys. I recently made my purchase from Frank on just 6 screens, all thin diameter thread and 1 or 2 mesh counts, just to try them out. And at first I spoke to the older but mini me Frank and had a great conversation. And he used to work out here in New Jersey. So I was right. Yeah, New Jersey. He said he was looking at almost 2 to 3 weeks for them to ship. And then he did mention us as my reason for trying them out. And that was on a Thursday. So I placed the order and called back a missed call on Monday. Yes, 2 business days away. So I called back and spoke to a lady and said, I know why you called. You need me to pay. And she said, no, here's your tracking number. But if you want to pay now, that would be great. And she also said that the owner, Frank, put a rush on your order. And he said that was nice. So he paid and did have a few questions about the emulsion. I used Chroma Blue, and she said, hold on, let me get you the owner. And the next 20 minutes he spent talking with Frank. It was probably the most informative personally. Mm-hmm. And it was probably the most informative screen mesh / emulsion / screen burning conversation he has ever had. So he says, thank you. I've been listening to your podcast show for maybe 6 months now, and I'm working backwards to listen to them all. I get at least one tip per show, and he has been in business since 1997. So I was reading that because Frank is like such a stand-up guy.
And this is exactly what we say when we say the people that we work with for a specific reason.
Mhm.
And it's because we work with GSF because they're amazing fucking screens, great fucking screens. And it's fucking Frank, dude. Like, Frank is the nicest guy on the fucking planet, and he'll give you a call and like walk you through a ton of stuff. Like, he doesn't have to do that. Like, he's a busy guy, but someone wanted 6 screens. They didn't want fucking 600. And he was like, no, let's get on the call and like talk for like a half an hour about how to make it better for you.
Yeah. Frank, we love you.
Yeah.
Let's blow him a kiss.
Hats off, man. Love you, Frank.
Oh, 2. He got 2. Holy shit.
3. I don't get a 3 from me.
Well, next we have a guy who doesn't deserve, like, he's the opposite of Frank. He doesn't deserve any kisses. His name is Alex, whatever. Cleaning screens. Cleaning screens is no fun, but Easy Way makes it funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will help you keep your screens and your shop clean. Check them out at easyway.com. Easy Way.
It's the easiest way.
Of course, we're just kidding.
Mm-hmm. He'll be here next week.
Love Alex too. I hope not. Why is he going there? That's not fair.
Hang out with me.
I thought that wasn't his territory.
It's not.
Oh, it's for something else. I know what it is. It's for the Blue Water, of course.
Yeah, but he's just coming to hang.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Alex also owns and manufactures a auto reclaim
called Blue Water.
Yeah. Check that shit out. What's the website for that?
I don't know, honestly. It's probably bluewater.com. It's not, just Google that shit.
Yeah. If you're looking for a auto reclaim solution, then you need to hit up Alex. Next, we have Action Engineering, and they make all kinds of.
It is not bluewater.com.
Okay.
Do not go there. Bluewater-labs.com, by the way.
Good job. Good job for finding that.
Seriously, like one of the best things right now. So go check that out if you get a chance.
Oh, I was saying Action Engineering makes all kinds of accessories printers need. Go to actionengineering.com to have a look, and then use Shirt Show at checkout and get a one-time discount of 15% off.
Yeah. And tag us or send us a DM when you order something, because I want to see what you got and what you saved on. We've been getting those, and it's awesome.
Our Mild Boys chat is like
on fire.
It's blowing up, and I got to turn it off because every time it does that, it rings in my ear incredibly loud. How do I turn that off?
I don't know. I don't have it on my computer.
God, I
People talking about blocker inks
thing. Speaking of, Monarch makes a blocker ink, and it's called ULT Shield Gray. Was formulated to work with our ULT2 and the rest of our Apocalypse low temp ink line. It is a short bodied ink with a soft hand and cures at 270 degrees Fahrenheit. Although designed specifically for dye sub fabrics, it will work well on high dye release fabrics without the fibrillation you get from other barrier inks. Shield Gray. Okay. That's the answer. I'm going to put that right in here. Monarch, I'm going to answer a text to about this. Monarch Shield. How do you spell shield? Gray. How do you spell gray? Hey, spell gray.
Grey.
Right now. What'd you say?
Grey.
Wrong. It's wrong, dude.
It could go either way. I looked it up before because my son's name is Grayson.
Did you say EY or AY?
E.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It is Shield Gray, Grey. Good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So if you ever get one of those, like the camo, poly camo,
anything
materials,
you're concerned about.
Yeah. they have that ink, and they also make ink that just does what it's supposed to do. You learn more at monarchcolor.com. Ink better, print better, be better.
Live Moss.
Monarch.
And we've been using Monarch for, I don't even know how long now. Long ass time. And zero complaints. If anything, I keep buying other systems that they have or other things that they offer.
All right. Well,
What other sponsors we got?
MeUndies.
No. I mean, I'd take a MeUndies sponsorship.
What is it exactly? It's just
I
like
could
comfortable
use-
underwear.
I wonder if they'll just send us underwear that I can just destroy in Target apparently, and then I'll just get new ones like sent to me often.
You mean like you
If they
never
just sent me a
wash-
pack, yeah, if they just sent me a fresh pack of underwear all the time as a sponsorship deal, and I never had to wash them, I just always had that fresh underwear feeling.
Here's what I think about that. That's very unsustainable. I think that you would be.
I'll recycle them. I'll let other kids wear them.
Why'd you have to say? Why'd you have to say that? That's
I'll donate
gross.
them.
Maybe here's the thing. Maybe they're 100%.
I could sell them. That's a
You
thing.
could
I could
do
sell
that.
worn underwear online. People would.
We could just put it in our merch store, which we're
Yeah.
really terrible at. Like we have zero merch, but we would have underwear.
Well, actually, we're working on re-upping some merch. We were talking about a sweet shirt.
We have a really good shirt in the works, and when it drops, dude, I don't know. We'll probably have to
When it
run it on all
drops.
three. We'll have to run it on all three presses, and you'll have to run it. Well, let's just face it. People want it printed here. They just want it printed here. So we'll print it.
Right.
We'll print
Okay.
that one.
Cool.
Cool.
And then reprint it when it's all fucked
when it
up.
washes out, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll fix it. We'll do like a big old.
Send them
fix
some
order.
cookies or something.
Okay. Well, then that's a bonus. They get another shirt and a cookie.
Mm-hmm.
How do I turn the text thing off in my ear? Tell me how to do that part.
I don't know. I don't have that.
Oh my God, it's killing me. I got to get IT in here.
I'm just going to start texting in this group so it keeps chiming for you.
You fucking asshole. How do I? Holy hell. Delete, open, import, print, messages, preferences, turn fucking off. Where's that button?
I'm literally texting period.
Oh my God. No, don't play sound effects. Okay, let's see what happens. Do it again.
Let me do it.
Yes.
You chime free.
Yes.
People in
got
the chat are
nothing.
like, why is Dylan just fucking texting dots? Doesn't make any sense.
If that didn't work, you know who knows is Mr. Steven Farrig from Campus Inc. That guy knows
Yeah, he
everything
would know.
about tech.
Yeah. So
He's here.
We don't really need to introduce these guys, but
No.
we just did an episode with them, and we decided we wanted to do one more as a little 2-part series.
It was so fun, and I don't know. I thought, for me anyway, I learned a lot, and I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Do we let these boys in? Hey, if you're listening, we love you. We appreciate you still being here after 102 episodes.
102.
Like some stuff. Maybe rate us on Spotify or Apple. That would rule.
We have not had a review this year. 2022, nothing.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you leave a review, the next episode we record,
We'll say it.
well, it won't be the next one because this won't be out yet, but the next one, read it out loud.
No matter what it says. That picture
That's
of
right.
Steven.
Even if it's bad. How do I
Oh, what
fix
happened to the beard?
It's gone.
I don't like it.
Sorry. We'll restart.
I like the scruff.
I tried. It's hard.
Yeah, I was too.
Are we voting on the scruff?
Yes.
I'm hard in.
I bet you are.
Couldn't have said it better.
Just said it better.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm in.
You guys should be. You guys are the
I love that
Brentavo
awkward
podcast.
silence after that. That was awesome.
The Brentavo podcast should be sponsored by Dollar Shave Club because you guys are both clean.
Mhm.
That would be genius.
We were just talking about MeUndies. So I said that if they'll just give me a fresh pair of underwear every day where I never have to wash them, that'd be wonderful.
That's how I do it with tie-dye hoodies every day. You just
a new canvas.
order a new batch.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing like we were talking about, is that I could just wear the undies every day and then I could sell them on the internet.
Oh, on the OnlyFans, the shirt show OnlyFans.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
does that start?
We were just going to put it in our merch store. Like,
When is it going to end? You mean it's already been going?
I must not have that link.
look at that fancy coffee mug. It's a jar, I guess.
Is that
how they?
A mason jar?
It's a mason
Is that how
jar.
they drink coffee in California? Is that what you guys do? Is you just that's the move? Uh-oh.
Bruce, we have no audio. Bruce.
Uh-oh.
He muted himself. It's okay. We didn't have to. We know the answer.
You were talking to the gods. Bruce, how's
Hey, we got
moving? You're really good at moving.
Sucks. I don't know. It's just you always, of course, think you have so many less things than you actually do in the real world. The meta world, you have less things, and it's only 10 boxes. The real world is you have 30 boxes, and none of it fits in boxes, or they're all like single items, or they're just like.
Bruce, what's it like to move a heat press?
Oh yeah, we moved 2 heat presses. No, it's not bad. They're tiny. They're not
Big
your
equipment
guys'
move.
type. Shouts out to Heat Press Nation for supplying those.
Here's a pro tip. Every time before you move, and maybe you did this, give stuff away. Like I want to say I probably made 5 trips minimum.
Only
to
when
Goodwill.
moving.
Got rid of it because you can't, otherwise, like it seems like you're moving stuff you don't even need.
Mm.
My
So
opinion.
why are you moving?
My wife just wanted more space. We were in a smaller, like 900 square feet apartment. It was nice, cool location. It's just she wanted another bedroom from people come hang out, and then just like natural light in all the rooms.
We're just talking about natural light and how important it is for happiness.
Do you,
There
guys
was
have, do you guys have a lot of natural light in your shop? Andy, you've got the big garage doors.
We have overhead doors, but
You have
they're
big windows,
closed
though.
today. Yeah, we have windows. Our building was built to be you could have businesses in the front or a business in the back. So like there's a door. Every bay has a front door and a
Andy's
back door.
party in the front and party in the back.
That's right. So yeah, we have all this natural light, and I think that ties in actually to attracting and retaining employees, which is one of our, I think, topics today.
We don't have natural light, so that's why they never leave. Actually, they just come in, and it's like a casino. We pump oxygen in.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Our
old
walls are-
Vegas trick.
Our walls are like rainbow. They were like a rainbow color when we moved in, of just like different colors, and we just kind of kept it. We're like, okay, that's fun.
Do you have really loud, annoying, flashy carpet in there too, like the casino?
No, but that would get a little linty.
No
Ugh.
clocks.
Be so crusty.
What about you, Dylan? Do you have a lot of light, or you just
I have
keep
no
the garage?
windows.
No windows.
Well, in the summer, most of the year we have the doors open regardless. Like we have a bunch of like big doors and window or big doors that roll up. But I mean, our whole shop is painted like bright white too, though. So it's kind of like the illusion of being a nice bright space. But yeah, no windows.
I saw who's the print shop that just did a mural inside their shop. It was like beautiful.
Maybe
Can you see that?
Squint Prints in Canada.
I
he's
think I
got
know what
one.
one you're talking about too. There was like a big squeegee with a hand pulling it or something.
Hmm.
I don't remember who. it
Bruce,
was,
you
though.
good?
It looked really cool though.
Oh, whoa.
There was a
That
chunk
was
of
weird.
glass in that mason jar.
Wow, that's never happened.
What happened,
Okay.
Bruce?
Continue. I have no idea. It's just I got really dry. You ever had so my wife drinks wine just like at dinner sometimes. And some of the wines out there, have you tried like the really dry wines?
I love
I'm
dry
not a
wine.
drinker.
I mean, it's the weirdest thing where it's wet, it's a liquid, but it tastes so dry. Is anybody else tripping out on this? Andy?
No.
like chalkboard wine.
Yes, I don't get it. And that's what it reminded me when I was just got so dry.
I thought
Right,
in the wine world, dry means not sweet, but maybe in your wine world, it means not wet.
It's just powder,
It's the cinnamon
is.
challenge.
It's liquid powder. It doesn't
powdered
make-
wine. So how's it going, guys? How was your work week?
Work week was good. Felt like we had a little lull last week. Like
Yeah.
we're on the academic calendar, so things like feel like when kids get out of school, everything slows down, and then I freak out for a week, and then everything's like busy again. I don't know. Do you guys ever get those in the middle of like a random there's like 2 weeks a year that it's just like this weird like lull? And
We always get it like
panic.
around major holidays, like 4th of July always sucks.
Yeah,
I feel like we're just like really slow around there. But like, yeah, we've had like weird lulls here. And I've been talking to other shops and seeing like who's busy and who's not and whatever. And I feel like anybody who's in the contract space or in like the band space is like really busy right now. And I feel like everyone else that's just like B2B is just kind of like, yeah, it's okay. It could be better.
Gosh, I'd love to really showcase that kind of detailed data.
Bruce,
I've only
you-
been able to get the overall industry orders and trying to do like an average per shop that we have over the few thousand shops on Printavo, but I haven't been able to ever get the detail. And then I wanted to try to get average order size and how that's changed because everybody's, the manufacturers would be like, yeah, it's getting smaller and smaller, and that's why we're doing digital. But I've never seen anybody create any data around it. It's just like,
Is there a way when they sign up for Printavo or when they have an account that they can put like what their main target market is or what their niche is to where you could pull that up and be like, I'm a contract shop. And then you could see like their numbers versus someone who's just like, I deal with live entertainment.
I think what's cool. Have you guys seen Andy Dillon? Have you seen the graph that Printavo puts out for industry trend?
I think I have.
I probably
they show
have.
like how many overall I think invoices were just created in the system, right, Bruce? Like
Yeah,
like
I've seen
as
that.
a
Mhm.
but what's really crazy is like you see the dips and they're exactly the same. Like there's always a dip January 27th to February like 8th. It's the same week every year. I don't know. I think those trend lines are interesting. We need like a weatherman report for the industry.
Yeah,
because-
that would be nice to know. Like, hey guys, just so you know, like next week looks like it's gonna fucking dip.
Well, you could plan for it. So you could say, oh, if like you just said, January 28th to whatever, you could plan for a contract run during that week or something, or thereabouts. You just have something on on backup to print maybe. I mean, it's hard, but it's possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Some months
sales
consistently dip too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Do you guys sales forecast? Like, do you project out 2 months or anything? Like, no. Yeah.
No.
But that's what I mean is something like that. Like you said, if there's dips that are going to come that are consistent every year, it'd be nice for everyone to kind of know and be like, I don't know. Would that help people or would that just
I
be
think
like
so.
peace of mind? I guess.
Even psychologically, like mentally, a peace of mind, just saying, hey, I'm not the only one. Like what? Because sometimes when if it does dip and it dips for longer than a week, you're like, wait a minute, are my prices too high? What's going on? What's happening? And then, but you're if you know that a lot of other shops, or maybe even regionally, that other shops are experiencing the same thing, then you're like, okay, well, this isn't just me and it's coming back or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Bruce, do
Wait,
you
are
guys
you-
use that info for anything other than just like?
No,
Okay,
I just
man.
we just have such a big order volume now that there's actually cool data I think that can help others. Like the dream would be something around pricing. I love to be able to pull out to understand the variance of like if there was a big chart and it was just like dots of pricing for one example job, say like a 50 shirt, 2-color front job.
You can see what the highest like charging and what the lowest charging would
right.
be.
And
you
maybe
can see.
you could break it down by geography and then that's where I'd love to go. But at least for now, it's just like okay. So like, for example, April was slower for whatever reason. So, it just wasn't me, or something like that. And then the next one is this average order size, which I got the data. I just have to dive into it a bit more. But wait, Ferg, are you forecasting or like why? I'm just curious. Is it like for hiring plans or?
We are growing very aggressively right now. So now everything's about like forecasting and like where we think we're going to be in a month, or like if we think we're going to have a dip. Like April's our biggest month, May's a really slow month. Our payroll's through the moon.
Yeah, look, I mean, Steven, if Cuban calls and he asks you what your forecast for next month and you don't have an answer, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's not a good
there,
look.
Daddy. I email him. We talk like once a week, or we email, and usually I'm like, okay, we're this far ahead of last year. This is why I think this is like, there's kind of someone to report to. And they're constantly like, not constantly, but they're like, what do you forecast for this? Or what do you do that? I mean, Bruce, you have it a little bit more now too, right?
So I used to just try to create one for the year to plan for hiring, because we're before that the like or acquisition, we definitely wanted to plan out hiring, because I'm just trying to reinvest as much as I can basically into engineering. And so it's like, okay, and each engineer is like, a solid 6-figure salary. So when can I do it? And then the problem is that if you do it when you can, then you start hiring, then you're already probably behind, because it takes 2 months to find them and then another 2 months to train them and so on. So if I can predict it better, then, you accelerate the growth. But yeah, right now it's crazy. They have like this year at least, and then the next really 3 years pretty planned out as far as like where we want to be and all the different, metrics and everything like that. And so then we're just kind of running along a playbook, which it actually aligns the team a lot better, in my opinion, because then they understand where we're going. They kind of understand the North Star. I show all that data. And then they're able to stay, like the team will bring some cool ideas, especially it's more on the sales and success side of, actually, like, what if we tried this, or what if we did that? And that'll help us get there. Or so,
I mean, isn't it true that your team wants to be a part of something bigger? If it's just the monotony of coming in and doing the same thing every day, what's their reason for staying? I mean, maybe it's financial and that's good. Of course, they have bills and they need to pay their mortgage and things like that. But don't you want to be a part of something that has a plan, and you can be a part of that and maybe have opportunity to maybe even step out of your role and take on something new or different and be, and grow like it just as an employee, I guess. And so to show them and to say, hey, this is where we're going and this is our plan. I think is one really important part of not losing people, and, having people want to go to a company where they can be a part of a bigger thing, I guess.
what do you guys do for that? Like retention, the bonus or options?
I think that's why we're here. We all talk, like Andy and I talk on the phone about like HR and like as we grow and, employee support and why people quit. And I don't know, we thought those conversations were thoughtful enough to bring them into this space. Is this a safe HR space?
Is it? I don't really think so.
No.
I feel like it gets people in trouble sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. But, I thought, though, that this would be a fun, Bruce, you sent over like a few ideas what we could talk about. And this was, to me anyway, this one really hit. And so I said, I voted for this one. And I was hoping, though, that you would introduce it, because I love on the podcast, Bruce, when you sort of introduce what we're talking about. And so I'm putting you on the spot. This is going to be like spontaneous introduction. You have nothing prepared. And so in one take, Let's hear it. What are we talking
Ooh.
about here?
Oh, Bruce can't do one.
Hey, producers. Welcome back to the episode. Today we've got Mr. Andy Redmond and Dylan Gilligan, who are our special guests. And of course, joining us, Mr. Stephen Farrig out of Champaign, Illinois at Campus Inc. Actually, today we've got a really cool episode and something that I've been dealing with recently, which is people quitting. Now what? I don't feel like we have enough redundancy, and it's caused a lot of problems, especially this week. Most, like, to put it very precisely, and that's why I wrote it down. So, anyway, let's jump into the episode.
Hey,
Whoa,
he
look
did
at
it.
that.
Holy shit.
Wow, look at you. Bruce does a great
Bro.
job. We don't give you enough credit for your intros. They've got a lot of energy.
This is what happens when you record God knows how many. I don't know. You guys celebrated the 100th episode.
Yeah.
I have no idea where we're at, but congrats on your 100 too, by the way. That's
thanks.
no small feat. I mean, it's definitely a grind sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we're in a spot too where we're trying to evaluate those 100 and see like what we can do to make them better. And we've got some things in the works, so we're trying to do. So it'll be fun.
We do. And I want to give a special thanks to Stephen, because that's part of the reason why we've done a couple of episodes, is because I was struggling leading up to the 100th, and I wasn't sure if I've said everything. 100 episodes, just like you said, is a lot. And I didn't know what was next. And I hadn't found that next thing yet. And Stephen was really supportive, and he came up with an idea, and he said, "Hey, well, I've got you. Like, let's just record a couple, and we'll talk about stuff." And I don't know, I appreciate that. So thank you very much. Cheers to you, man.
Cheers to you. I think these conversations are a little, we love doing interviews. I mean, we've met some of the coolest people, but sometimes Bruce and I will just riff for 30 minutes and have some of the coolest conversations. And I think the four of us have had them. And I think there's some cool things we can talk about. That might be a little bit sensitive and stuff, but I mean, just on people quitting, like, we had one of our best hires get poached by a really, really big, awesome company. And I didn't see it coming. And then, couldn't have been more thrilled for that person. Right.
That's just it too, is that I think that's really important when I kind of wrote down 3 things that are really important when people quit, and what the owner or the leader's response should be. And the first one to me is, you got to set the tone and be confident and be graceful, because that person that's leaving, they contributed a lot. It's true. They helped get you to where you are, and helped that, their team and their coworkers and everything about it. And so you're losing them. And there might be some frustration, I suppose, even, especially when they're going to, like you just said, I guess somebody that poached, I shouldn't say her, that person from you. And so
Pissed, Ferg?
No, I literally was like,
At first?
that's
at first, because
I mean, I was a little like, I was a little blindsided by it. I didn't see it coming per se. But when it all kind of rolled out, I was like, I'm not surprised. Like, you're a stellar individual. And there's no reason why a company like that wouldn't want you. And it was like a graceful, like, very amicable, like, very great goodbye, and I was really proud of that person, for doing that, and at one part I was like, yeah, we were a platform or a stepping stone. And I was a little bit like bittersweet. I'm like, why aren't we as cool as that company? And I'm like, well, maybe someday, and that company's like, it's Nike, I'll just put it out there. Like, when your top employee gets a dream opportunity and you're just like, congrats. I don't know what to tell you. I guess, like, I've started telling employees, we're on a hiring spree right now. And I've started telling employees, someday you'll quit. Someday you're going to quit. I don't expect you to retire here. Have you all ever had like open conversations with employees about leaving?
It's a rough one. I feel like I'm in such a spot where it's so hard for me to get somebody in general, and then to get somebody trained in this craft, and then just knowing or expecting them to leave is like super fucking rough. I don't know. I feel like I can't easily just be like, put an ad out and be like, looking for a screen printer or looking for someone fluent in this for this industry. It's just, it doesn't happen. Like I have to literally grab people off the street that know nothing about anything and then train them fully. And then to know or to hint at them like, oh, you might be better off like not working here at some point is kind of like, I don't think I would ever do that. I think I'd rather get somebody, know they're a really good person and really good worker, and then do anything and everything I can to like keep them here.
But isn't that
growing.
isn't that fundamentally true? Like everyone at some point, like even yourself, someday you'll quit or retire, right? Like
Or die.
what?
Die
Will
here
he?
in this chair
Yeah.
We're viewing.
right now.
I know, but like, you know, someday, like if someone's going to stay with you for 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 25 years, someday they won't work there. Right. Like,
Right. I think
know.
that's true. I think those conversations, I think that's real. I think that maybe 50 years ago, that wasn't as true. People would work someplace and, you know, forever and then retire there with their pension. And maybe that's part of it too. I mean, retaining employees. I have just now, the most recent one that put in their 2 weeks and I lost was just a few weeks ago. And one of his reasons was retirement, like 401k. We do not have a 401k plan here. And it now was a wake up call for me to say, okay, well, that's what we need that. You know, we need something, you know, why would you want to stay at a place when you're comparing to that where they go is going to have some sort of pension so that they can retire one day versus a place that doesn't. I mean, I think that as a company, we need to offer benefits, which we do, but the best benefits, I guess, you know, better than our competitors. And I know that's hard, but I think it's real.
I feel like there's I don't know how to say this nicely without coming off sounding like an asshole. I feel like for certain markets and certain businesses, like Steven and Bruce, you guys are trying to attract like very like well-educated, like went to school, got degrees in like, you know, code and engineers and like all this other stuff. You guys are trying to go to people that are like very driven to get to the top of their field in whatever they can do. So like, yeah, they might work for you and be like, this is a great opportunity for that time. And then they get to another spot where they're like, I'm ready to level up to Nike or whatever it is. Because for me, Nike is the top of that chain.
But isn't like Starbucks, like I'd push back a little bit and be like, look at what Starbucks does. Like if you're there, they do tuition waiver for college. Like Walmart has their full program. Like there are trade level jobs or like entry level jobs, and these companies are like shelling out for them. Like why would, if you could make coffees at Starbucks, get 401k, health insurance, potentially tuition waivers, be on a management track.
Right.
Versus I'm going to go learn print. Sure. It's like no benefits, nothing. Isn't there something there? I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that that's where like here I try specifically to be like, I try to make it part of their life rather than just like their 9-to-5 job. Like, I don't know, like I try to make this space more of like a home away from home if they want to hang out or do anything. Like even after work, there's a lot of people that just hang out for like an hour or two to just shoot the shit or play games, or, you know, we can grill out back or whatever we do. I just try to make it a space where like they look forward to, yeah, it's work, but it's also like a place where they can hang out and be themselves and have work friends and everything else. So I don't know. I feel like the people that I'm trying to attract are kind of like myself, where I was like, fuck school. And I just want to do something cool with myself and like make good money and then go home and do the other half of my life doing something else. So
you want to, because you can't necessarily offer the craziest packages, you're going to make up for it in culture.
I'm trying to, yeah. I mean, I want to offer the packages, like slowly I'm adding things. Like I'm trying to add, you know, the health stuff and all these other things. It's just like when I can, I add things, and when I can give bonuses, I'm giving bonuses. Or if someone walks in my office and says, hey, I went to a bank and tried to get a car loan and I can't, can you loan it to me? I'm like, hell yeah. Like go get your car, get your shit figured out, or I need, to move. It's like, all right, well, let's use the shop fan and trailers and everything and like help you move. It's like, I want everything here to be like, what's mine is yours kind of thing.
How many people do you have, Dylan?
11.
So I think also at that stage, it's like such a tight knit group, which helps a ton. And then it also creates that really kind of family-esque environment. And then I wonder though, how like it's hard to keep that group, I think over 30 is where it starts to feel like, because it's like not me interacting with them. It's like their manager interacting with them. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I don't know, that's where I've been struggling, mainly because we lost like 3 pretty OG, people like in 72 hours. It was like a text message of, hey, do you have a minute to chat? I was just like, oh shit.
It's always
like,
the worst.
Yeah. And it's like the randomest times, like Sunday at like 9:30 a.m. You're like,
but I think that comes back to what me and Andy have been saying at the end of every episode is like 2 autos or 10 autos. Like I'm very happy with my shop layout, the amount of employees I have, the automation I have, everything here. Like I think I'm good at like that 10 to 15 employee range. Like I don't think I'll ever need more than that. So like I'm happy with the dynamic we have and like the things we're doing. And like I said, the culture is just what it is. Like it's not like we're trying to create culture. We're just trying to make a fun space where we can all hang out.
Yeah. And I don't mean that to be in a bad way. It's just I noticed the transition of like there's certain things that people feel that I was like, oh crap. Okay. So, and how to help scale that culture aspect. And then I was like, okay, some things I just have to pay.
I just don't think you can. Like, I don't feel like you can keep the same close knit thing with like 100 employees. Like, I feel like it's one or the other. Like, you can spend time and effort on like doing the best thing you can for your employees at like 10 to 20. And then above that, it's like, well, I literally don't have the time or the bandwidth to do this.
I agree. However, you can, it won't be like duplicated at that small, tight knit group, but you can do, you can make effort anyway to try and keep it there with, with certain things. And I drop the ball a lot because we have ideas and we do them and then we get busy and we don't do them. You know what I mean? So I had somebody that I just interviewed and actually hired, and she came during her interview. She was like, I asked her, I said, so how did you hear about us? And she said that she heard from somebody who used to work here in a class at school that this person that used to work here was saying that she got a free drink on Wednesdays. Like we did this happy hour.
That was her. That was her.
Right.
You got to work here. He gives you a free. He lets you drink water on Wednesdays.
But look what that did. So she overheard. She wasn't even like in it. She wasn't even like this private conversation. She overheard this girl saying, "Yeah, I was at work, and they brought in." It was, we called it, I think it was hump day happy hour. Yeah. And so everybody got a drink of their choice, and Chad ran and picked everything up and brought it back. And so she was telling that story, and this girl overheard, and that meant enough to her. There's like, wait a second, there's a company out there that went and buys drinks for everybody on, every week. And how cool is that? And that sort of speaks to, I know, the culture of that company, right? If they give a shit to do that. And so it was just that little tiny thing that somebody remembered. And that's why she came and applied, and she's here right now. I hired her. She started yesterday. And now she's here. So,
and she found out that you guys don't do drinks on Wednesdays anymore.
I know. Today's Wednesday.
Here's a gift card. Go to the gas station.
You better go get her a fucking drink.
But
Andy just brings 40s in.
We stopped doing it because we just got busy and it was winter and all these other things. But it's probably a good like summer thing to do. Mm-hmm. And because she told me that, it made me think, it clicked. It was like, we should just do this again. Oh, we actually stopped doing it too because Chad left, and who's going to go run and get drinks? I got to find somebody else. And so I think that we need to do it again because look what it did. In
a smaller business, like under 10 to 15 employees, HR is not a priority. And like, I think when people say the word HR, there's a negative connotation of it. But like in bigger companies, HR are like, you are the cheerleaders basically. And you are there to like keep everyone in a good spot and keep everyone happy and keep like the pulse on the family. And like when you're in a small business, the owner is usually that, and they do it when it's convenient. But like sometimes we do it too late. We're noticing like one of our next hires is going to be like a people officer, like head of people, because there's just so many little like, oh, did we send them a gift basket on their first day, or did they get their coupon code for a free tie-dye hoodie or whatever? And like it comes back on me, and I'm like, why am I dealing with this right now? You know? But like
Send it to the wrong address.
Bruce, you guys do stuff like you're building out apps to actually like reward people with like, was there something you were doing?
So there's this thing called Bonusly that we just started with, that allows you to like gift people rewards, which is nice. Inksoft actually brought that over. But you know what I found? There's actually some people and you probably have these people on your team who actually care more about culture stuff than you do. And I found that like, I care about it. I know it's important and I want to do it, but it always falls off the priority list. And then things don't happen, like, you know, unfiltered water Wednesdays. So, so like, I just, you know, let people do that part-time. And then I was like, okay, here's money, you know, just do something, but consistently. So maybe it's like once a quarter or once a month or something like that. And then they would find a place, or they would find a happy hour, or they would find this or that. And that helped. But yeah, it's hard.
Dylan, what do you guys do? Cause I always see you guys playing like Xbox, movie nights. I think this is really important, is like people listening to this should realize, like, if you're a shop owner and you're struggling with employees, culture is your number one thing you can do, and that you can start doing that like today. What are the little things that you do along the way that are like small in detail, but they mean a lot to people?
I mean, just here, like things that I do, but the thing is a lot of things that I do here are just things that I enjoy. So like, and I just invite everyone here, if they want to come do it, they can. So like one of the things is like, we have a shitload of snacks. Like I probably dump like $300-ish a week in snacks. So I just buy like a ton of chips, and I ask everybody too, like, what is it that you guys want for snack? I don't want to just go buy generic snacks and then they're like, well, I don't want these like granola bars. These are gross. So I ask everybody, like, what do you want? And then like, we'll change it up every couple of weeks. And like, the fridge is always full of like a ton of drink options, and the freezer is like full of like Hot Pockets and pizza and like other things. So like if somebody forgets their lunch or just doesn't have the money that day or whatever, like they have lunch already in the fridge if they want it. And nobody really abuses the system. It's not like they're fucking pocketing them and taking them home or anything. So like knowing that they have food during the day, if they're like, you know, the 2 o'clock hits and they hit a wall and they just need something to keep going, there's all that stuff is taken care of. So they don't have to worry about, you know, food, drink, whatever. That's always covered here. The other thing I try to do, and we kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit, but this year I really want to get back into it, is grilling Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, I'll go and get like a big thing of hamburgers and hot dogs and send someone to the store and get like potato salad and chips and drinks. And we have a back deck with a grill where we'll just grill for everybody. And if you want to eat, you can. Cool. The other thing is just like everyone here has full opportunity to pick music. So in the office, we have Spotify going, and in the shop, we have Spotify going. And so someone on press picks an album, and then when that album's done, the next person gets to pick an album. And so everyone's happy to have like their music playing all day. The other thing is I have an open invitation every Thursday for steak night. So after work on Thursday, we go get steaks, and then after steaks, we go to Regal and watch a movie.
Wow. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of, I mean, just food, like just
food in general is a lot of it.
And then Friday's taco night, and then Saturday we cook pancakes.
Yeah, we just eat.
And then
every
on Sunday, it's a sleepover.
But the thing is yeah, there's food, but around food is just gathering and like talking and like having a good time. So like True. Thursday night might be steak night, but a lot of it is us sitting at the table, fucking laughing our asses off, and then driving to the movie theater, and then we watch like whatever new movie came out that week. And then, like I said, the grilling is the same thing. Like for a lot of us in the summer, it's just getting outside on the deck and sitting in the sun for an hour for lunch instead of sitting in the office.
So Dylan, that works.
But even for
you
lunch, like our
because
break room is like TVs and couches and stuff.
that works for you because you're
Go
fun
ahead.
and you're cool and all those things. But what about the shop owners like me who the employees, like they don't want to hang out with me and go see a movie and go to dinner and have taco night? They're like, if I were to invite them, like,
You just need to
wish,
pay more.
wish I could, but I'm busy. I mean, so I don't know I don't know that movie night is realistic for, I think that
I don't think
is
I don't think
for-
it is realistic for everybody, and that's just the way this company is, and it is what it's just what I made it into. But I feel like a lot of it is just taking care of the people, like giving them what they want. Like realistically, what they want is good pay, good benefits, but also like a place where they're proud to work at. Not necessarily like, oh, I just got to go here and like get my shit done and get paid and go home. Like we have a whole wall in the front office of like 6 different like upstate designs. Like we do a ton of stuff all the time that's like our own branded apparel or whatever. And like I don't force them on employees. I'm like, here's a stack of shirts, take these and wear these. Like I just leave them. I'm like, they're free to whoever wants them. And I see everyone wearing them, or like someone will come in and be like, can I take 4? Like my brother and my dad and so wants them. I'm like, yeah, fucking as many as you want. Like people wearing stuff around is free advertising. So take it and wear it. So that's like another thing is like they're happy to like support here and be here and talk about here.
I think what's interesting is like I've heard the statistic that people spend more time around their coworkers and in their homes or at work than they do their homes.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So like 40 hours of like someone's livelihood. I mean, what you're doing sounds like what Google does. Like, right. If you go to Google, they get free lunch, free yoga, free this, free that, and they make it such a great culture that they never want to leave. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot of wisdom there.
And a lot of that wasn't necessarily like planned out. Like I said, for me, it was selfishness. It was like, I want to eat steak and go to the movies on Thursday. Why the fuck wouldn't I want to do that? And now I'm like, oh, it's a business thing. I got to take my employees. I have to do this every Thursday.
You just, Stephen, you just mentioned that, you know, maybe the employees would never leave, but I have a notion that I thought was interesting. And that is turnover always bad? I mean, I wrote down 4 things that I thought were interesting in with turnover. And one is while you appreciate, you know, the contributions of that employee and however long they've been there and how they've helped your company grow. Sometimes it's nice to have fresh new talent with fresh new ideas and experiences that come along and like they're super stoked to come to work every day. And not that the employee who is leaving isn't also, but maybe it's time. There's a reason why they're leaving. Maybe they're burnt and they become complacent even and they're just ready to go. And so turnover isn't always bad, and it's not always bad that you know, somebody leaves. I would also say a lot of times that gives you a chance to redefine roles. I know that when recently a couple of people have left, you can say, wait a minute, time out. You know, what was this person doing? And maybe we need to, maybe what they were doing and one of the reasons why they left, we need to change somewhat. You know, their role we need to expand on it, or it's just, maybe it's not even necessary what they were doing. Maybe somebody else could do that. And also that's just it too, is like somebody else you can promote. It gives you an opportunity to promote somebody to something and then that person can grow into a role. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's not necessarily, I think a certain churn rate is normal and maybe even healthy for your company. What would you say to that?
That's
Damn,
interesting.
that's a good thing you just said. I don't know, what, like a preach or something. Yeah.
Wait, so you're saying a churn could be good. So new
fresh
life,
ideas,
new energy. I think it also,
yeah,
I always say this, every next hire will be more strategic and slightly smarter. Like you're always going to make a smarter hire. You're going to make mistakes hiring along the way. And like, you usually don't make those mistakes more than a couple times. Or you screen for them better. I don't know. I feel like 2 years ago, you could walk up here and get a job. Now, like you can't just do that. There's so many red flags that we look for and stuff like that. Right.
I feel like there's a lot of things that like I've learned over hiring where like in the beginning, I just like had someone in and I talked to them for half an hour. I was like, do you want to work tomorrow? And now it's like, I screen a ton of people, and then I give a couple people like a week trial. From like, come work, and then we'll see how you like at the end of the weekend. Just so you know, we're going to make a decision of like you can work here or not, because we need to work with you for a week to see if you're a stand-up
Printer
person.
tryouts.
Yeah, like literally.
Wow. I mean, what do you think, Bruce? What do you think average? Because you guys are growing. Like, what would be an appropriate turnover? Like, how many employees you lose a year?
Statistically, it's somewhere around the like high teens, mid to high teens is like average. Now those are like companies that report it, so generally they're a bit larger, but that is the baseline, which is actually kind of high when you like actually do the math on your team. It feels like holy crap. But it was interesting, like listening to what you're just saying, because I do kind of feel that a little bit, but that's because we're trying to grow aggressively. And so, from zero to, if you think about the skill set for like a business owner, like let's put employees out of it. Let's talk about like just us. The skill set from going 0 to 1 million is so hard and takes so long and requires like just forward persistence. And then going from 1 to call it like, let's say 5 is a totally different skill set of a business owner and like mind shift. And I think that's the same for the team too, where it's like generalist versus specialist stuff and like actual management and like actual employee training and like the people management stuff. And so that's where maybe you get good stuff out of the churn, but it sucks.
Bruce has been like challenging me to make like an org chart, like fill in the different roles, write out who you think you're going to need, like put names in places. Do you guys, Dylan, Andy, do you guys have an org chart, like a hierarchy, like this person is in charge of this person and this person reports to this person, or do they all just stem up into you?
I think for me personally, I've always gone to, like, I did a thing with Kudre, the Catalyst program, I don't know how many years ago now. And like one of the things he said that kind of shifted my mindset a little bit was, before that, I always thought like companies that it's that dick measuring contest of like the couple questions every business owner asks the other business owner is like, how many square footage, what's the square footage of your building and how many employees do you have? And it's like, if I have the biggest building with the most employees, I'm obviously the better fucking businessman. And I feel like it got flipped on its head a little bit when it was like, how efficient is your shop? And like, I'm proud of the fact that I have 11 people and I'm churning out the work that some shops have like 25 people when I'm doing the same thing with 11. So I feel like everyone that's here is very key to, like, I feel like everyone here is a manager. I have nobody that's just like, I'm just a low level employee that just like drones around all day.
Shots were fired at me on that one, but that's okay.
I'm not saying that to you at all. I'm just saying that like,
this is good.
I'm just saying that like, I look at it as like, how much work, how much responsibility can I put on this person and make them feel like they're in charge of their space, instead of just being like, well, I need one person to mix ink. I need one person to,
not that like their task maturity isn't all there. I mean, levels of like who reports to who in case of issues. Like, do they all stem up into you like when they have an issue, or do they like, is there a hierarchy of like,
I feel like for the most part, everyone here goes to someone else first. Like they go to like the printers, for example, like if there's 4 of them, if one of them has an issue, they go to the other one of the printers and be like, hey, do you know how to fix this? Or have you ran into this issue? Same with like customer service, like they'll go to one of each other first. And if they as a team can't figure it out, they come to me and they're like, hey, we're having an issue. You make the final call.
I got this.
It doesn't really come to me that often.
I got this neat chart I made because I was talking to Ryan about it. As far as how, if there's issues, how it escalates, this hierarchy and how it escalates. And this was more of a customer based issues, but I thought it was really interesting. And so I have it broken down. Looks like this. Pretty technical, but it sort of goes like this. It's like you have customers and they are let's call the first category elite. Those are your elite customers, which makes up about 5% of our company. And then there's pro customers, that's 15%. And then standard, I don't know, I think we need to come up with a better word, but and that makes up the 80% of your customers. And so like on the elite, the 5% of your customers, they make, just like, this is sort of like the 80-20 rule, right? So the 20% of your customers make up 80% of your profit. And so that top 20%, which is the elite and the pro, that you have defined sort of answers to, because I found that our customer service team or account management team would always come to me and say, Andy, this customer wants this, what should we do? So I wanted to eliminate that so that they just sort of knew most of the time what to do. And so you could say like so those 5%, that elite customer, you could say they wanted something rushed, or say they wanted a press approval or something like that normally would cost, right? And put your team out. But the answer to the elite is always just going to be yes. Like, of course, we'll rush an order for them. I mean, this is assuming they're not abusing that privilege, but yes, we're going to rush an order for you. The pro customer on that same instance, if they are looking for a rush or something like that, well, the answer may be still yes, we'll rush an order for you, but there's a cost to that, and so maybe you still, they know that it's a yes. And then they can just charge for it, and they don't even have to come to me to ask. And then the standard customer that maybe they only order once a year or whatever that is, they have that same request, and it could just be a no. They know what to say. We're too busy. No, we're 3 weeks out. We can't take on a rush. And so I think that if they have those sort of, and I know that relates to customers and customer service, but I'm wondering if we could do the same sort of thing, with escalation with regards to problems, just like you said, Stephen, how it goes through the management system and eventually sometimes ultimately has to end up with the CEO or the president, whatever your role is, or the title is. I mean, does that make sense?
I think we have like we have a lot of, like, I'll get hit up all the time. And now I'm starting to not answer them and be like, please go to your manager first. And it sounds really weird. Like, it just makes sense if I just answer it. But like, we don't want to train the team to just always come running for help. I don't know. Like, I've read that you can only really manage like 5 to 6 people. Like, you can really only have 5. If you really want to manage like people really well, you can really only have 5 to 6 direct reports. Bruce, you and I used to argue over this.
I thought that was like 7 to 8, but 7 to 8? Way, it's okay. 7 to 8, fine. It's something less than what we do. It's some number under what the reality is.
I don't know.
You know what's interesting is I got personally kind of frustrated because maybe more last year, because I the whole task list thing where you start off the day and you got your stuff you wanted to do and things that you need to do, but you jump in and, people are asking or this is happening. And I think what I honestly realized is it was just all my fault. Like, I literally just made myself the easiest form of fixing problems. And so why not ask me? You know what I mean? It's like, what? Like, I was the person, I'll solve it. I'll do it. Oh yeah, let me just jump in, or here, just pass that ticket over to me, So I created that, and that was something I'm still unwinding, and we're trying to hire the right people for it. But yeah, therapy.
Do you guys have a thing too where you tell your employees basically like, don't come to me with a problem unless you like have somewhat thought it out and have a possible solution first? Because like so many people will just come to me with like a thing that is like they'll come to me with a problem and then they're like, can you come check this thing out? And I go out and look and I'm like, dude, fucking seriously, like the answer's right in front of your face, or like you easily could have like figured this out on your own. Like,
those are Andy's golden rules, right, Andy?
I'm trying to look them up because I don't have them memorized.
Does it actually work?
I have them.
I mean, I do that here. I'm just like, don't.
Okay, so you have them good because we talked about it I think it was on Cam's episode. So what were there was 3 things, right?
Hold on.
I thought it's your golden rules.
No, they're Andy's golden rules.
Yeah,
I didn't remember. I don't have it perfectly memorized. Hold on.
If you created the problem, come to me with a solution to discuss. If you are the problem, acknowledge and change it or remove yourself. If the problem was solvable without my help and you come to me, you lose credibility. That's the passive aggressive Andy. That's sassy Andy.
That's a real Andy.
Sandy.
I mean, I think those hold true, really.
I think so. Yeah.
I tell those to like my shop, and I add two more. I said, if you can solve the problem without asking for help, you're learning. And then I said, your success is measured by what I don't ask of you. And that's like a big rule at Campusing, because like when you do your job, if you come to me asking for like a pat on the back, like you'll get one. But like the above and beyond and the surprises, like I love when team members do that. And they're like, hey, Steven, I did this, and I rearranged this, but no one asked me to do it. Like, I think those kind of things are super awesome to highlight. I don't know. Do you guys ever do like shout outs? Like, just like, hey, that was really cool. Just like positive compliments or affirmation or anything.
You mean in front of the whole team, or just personally? Like
Either if it's
one-on-one?
like in chat or something, like we're on Slack, but like in a huddle or anything, just public acknowledgement of little things that team members do. No.
I feel like we have a little bit different of a feel here, where we would say something really degrading to each other, or
That's your acknowledgement.
yeah, like I'd
It's
be like, I was like, about time you did something good, fuck face, or something like that would generally be what I would say.
But they know coming from you.
Oh,
that
cool!
means-
You actually did your fucking job.
That's
nice
love,
work.
though. That's
Yeah.
your
That's
way.
love.
They understand that you have trouble with feelings, and they know
Right.
deep down what that means, though. So
They know that if I walk by them, like yesterday, perfect example. Sarah had her head down, was looking at her desk, and Brian was in his office doing steps. And I just walked from my office to the bathroom, and it was just a normal thing. Like I immediately flipped Chris off when I walked by his office. And then when I went by Brian's office, I said, suck on this. And then I went to the bathroom, and it was just, they knew it was just like,
That's love.
it was just love.
Yeah.
It was,
I think that everybody should try that. Yeah, that sounds like that should be the goal. And also, that's number like 7 and 8 of the golden rules or whatever, right? Yeah, that'd be good stuff.
right. So, I mean, spread that around.
Fair. Can you imagine just like you just like leave this? You know what? All right, I'm gonna switch it up here today. What's up, Carly? Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
But okay. Andy, what about you? Do you guys do anything?
Andy, any other suggestions?
Here's free food. Fuck off.
Yeah. We don't
I
have
think-
HR here.
I think it's really important to, you don't want to be the leader or the owner or the manager even to always go when there's an issue or a problem, to like not necessarily punish, but always bringing up, hey, this is wrong and let's fix it. Or why did you do that? So I think it's really important to, when things are going right, to acknowledge that too, of course. I mean, maybe even more so, like more often than you're going over there with a problem. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I need to do that more. We do shout outs like in our company-wide meetings, which we have one, I think this Friday. And I asked like our production meeting, I was like, so what are we going to talk about? And then I like, give me some material or some points you think we need to talk about. And nobody had anything. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, that's on me, I guess, to kind of, and that's kind of ties back to that thing you said earlier, Bruce, is that I think what I'm going to talk about is direction. I'm going to talk about where we're going. So some things have happened, and we're getting ready to implement a few things here, software wise and process wise. And I want to, like you said, that North Star, I want to say, here's where we want to go. And I need your help getting there. And I think that if people, then they'll buy in. Like there's going to be certain people that aren't going to, they're going to be like, oh shit, I don't want to do this. I don't want change. I don't like that. But if you sort of describe, the reasoning, I suppose, behind why we're doing this to make it easier, then that's cool. But during that meeting, I think you're right. It's important to give a shout out and say like a couple of things. Isn't it?
I think what like I'm noticing, and Dylan, I didn't know you did all this stuff, which is pretty freaking sweet. But like Dylan, you're in lockstep with your team. Like you guys think the same, you talk the same, you eat the same.
We finish each other's sentences. Yeah.
And that is like, that's the holy grail of a team. Right. But like, I think where
But that's what I said is funny is like we could walk around to each other and tell each other to fuck off all day long and like say horrible things to each other. But it would be that thing if we were out in like a bar and someone got in a fight, everyone here would fucking pile on and like save that person.
Yeah, I mean, inadvertently, like you have a very but you, it sounds like you are the people man. Like you're the people manager there. Like that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
I am.
it's just, but like, so something we do, so we are all on Slack because we have half our office in Chicago and Champaign, and we've got remote employees, and we have a team chat. And I got this from Bruce's channel, where they post pictures of their dogs all the time, lots of dog pictures.
You guys
And
both have dogs right now next to you, don't you?
yeah.
Is there a dog behind you, Bruce?
There's dogs. I got two in here. But so we have a channel that's just about dogs and just people posting pictures of their pets. And like the amount of like, it sounds stupid, but like people like, oh, these are my dogs today or whatever. Or like my dog's sick. But then the other chat is just our team chat. And it's literally just like filled with happy birthdays. Shout out to this person for this. Congratulations on this. And it's just this running, just like banter all day. And sometimes it's annoying to me because I'm like, ugh, like, you know,
why aren't people working?
Why aren't people working? But I'm like, wait, this is like culture building. And it's, you know, or like we have a channel called Marketing on Press that our press operator, or like lead press operator, Cregan, he's always snapping pictures of really cool prints so that our sales team can send it to their customers. And like, they all just like camaraderie is built on there. So I think there's different ways to do it, whether you're using apps or rewards or like in person or snacks. Like the four of us have four completely different approaches to HR and none of them are wrong or right, you know? So I don't know, like Slack probably wouldn't work at Upstate. I'll be like, we're here.
Yeah, no, we just have like a
AIM.
Yeah, we just have like a group chat on our text or whatever.
What was your guys' screen names?
Oh God, mine was Lacrosser 45.
I was Soccer Stevie 101.
Oh, look at that.
Soccer Mom 101.
Soccer Stevie. What was yours, Bruce? Like
Andy?
Zeppelin.
Mine was Schecter, Hellraiser, and some numbers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was super into metal in high school and everything, and I had a Schecter and some other guitars and stuff. And
what do you think Andy's AIM screen name was? Because like Andy probably was like, you know, on the tail end of AIM.
It was probably like hip.
What was your
6969 or something?
Rubber Dub Man.
I don't know where he went. He just went to take a shit.
Andy.
Dylan,
That sounds rough.
how did you know? That was actually it.
Andy,
Hip
what
dude
was
69,
what was your Netscape name?
He's been listening the whole time.
What was your MSN login? Andy, when the internet came out, tell us about that.
Well, it came in the mail and it was a CD. It was awesome.
AOL 9.0.
Dude, at my house, we grew up on those discs. Like my dad we never bought internet. We just went from like 30-day trial to 30-day trial to 30-day trial. It was amazing. I used to have an email when I was in high school that I was super proud of until my identity got stolen and I had to go to the bank and sit with a police officer and the bank manager. And then they had to read back to me what my fucking login email was. And that was embarrassing.
What was that?
It was hooker with a penis was my email. It was like hooker with a penis at Hotmail or something. And they were like, is this you, hooker with a penis at Hotmail? It's like, yep, that's me. I was like, cool. So then from then on, literally that next day, I switched over to Dylan Gilligan at Gmail. I was like, I have to change this up.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably
35.
17, 18.
Nice.
Bruce, to your the people quitting now what? I have 3 steps. I wanted to put this to kind of frame it to what I think you should do. And that is step number 1, set the tone. Lead, be confident, and don't panic. And so we kind of went over that before. And that is somebody comes to you and they put in their 2 weeks. I know it's tough. You know, the initial, like sometimes my gut reaction is I'm bummed or I'm frustrated or whatever. But people watch. Your team is watching. A lot of times people know when that person is walking into your office to tell you that. There's like 5, 6 people, maybe more, that already know for a week or even more that person's leaving, and they are curious to how it's going to go. And so because maybe one day they're going to put in their 2 weeks and they want to know how you handled it. Or if you handle it really awfully, then maybe they're like, well, this sucks. Like, I don't want to work here. This guy just freaked out when this person left. And that's, I don't know. I don't want to work at a place like that. And so, and also when that person comes in and talks to you, and you're not graceful, well, who knows? I mean, maybe they go off and after a month, they realize they made a huge error and they want to come back. And that's not such a bad thing. There's such thing as boomerang, like actually sourcing people that have recently left and asking if they want to come back, to your team, because maybe the situation's changed and you've whether it's their situation or your situation, it could have changed. And so I think it's really important to kind of do those things and let them know. I mean, I had somebody that was going on vacation right after 2 people had left in their department, and I walked him out that day at the end of the day to his car and sort of said, look, hey, it's going to be okay. Like, it's going, because the last thing I wanted to do is for him to quit, go on vacation and say, man, this whole place is like unraveling. And when I get back, is there going to be anything left? I mean, I'm just going to get a job somewhere else. And so I wanted to reassure that person in that department that everything's going to be cool. I'm going to take care of it. And we're going to rebuild and it's going to be fine. Are you guys, is the internet okay? Is yours breaking up a little bit?
You're choppy.
It's a little chops.
Why is it doing that?
That's okay.
We need
Have
to
you
get you
tried
guys
to-
Riverside.
Yeah. Next one we'll try it. But wait, have you tried to recover somebody, or is that worth it? Right? Because it's like, I always go back and forth on this, because it's like, okay, if they have a good offer or whatever, they're excited about it. This isn't like an overnight decision. They've been thinking about it for a while. They chatted with the company and it's awesome. Like, super happy that they're able to grow at that next spot. Is it worth trying, or
Like retention?
I think yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Somebody comes in, and instead of an exit interview, what if you had a stay interview? And like, what if you said to them, I mean, there's sometimes I used to have my sort of theory was that if somebody's coming in to put in their 2 weeks, I'll never ask them to stay. Because I don't know, I just felt like if they're ready to leave and they're coming in to tell me that, and maybe if it's even over money, I think it's a terrible time. Like, why didn't they give me a warning? Why did they come to me and say, Andy, look, I've got this job offer, or I'm looking at, I need my budget. I'm just not able to make my budget. And so, is there anything else? Like, is there a different role I can take on, or how can I?
Andy, I'm going to challenge you there. Is that the employee's responsibility to do, or the employer's responsibility?
That's really
because
good.
isn't
That's
that
really good,
people
Stephen.
management? Like, isn't that monthly one-on-ones to say, like, is everything good? Do you like your role here? Do you see
And I feel
yourself
like
here?
as an employee, it's hard to bring that up. Like,
Yeah.
you just ignore it, and then you're just like, well,
Like, I hate my job right now, and I'm actually looking for another one.
that's 20% more or whatever.
Well, what if I think that for one, a monthly one-on-one, that would mean I'd have 26 a month meetings, which is pretty tough. And so maybe it's every quarter, right? And so if it's every quarter, there's a lot that can happen during a quarter. I think we're stuck, right? Because we are too small not to have like a full-time HR that is having those one-on-ones and doing all of that stuff. But we're also too big not to have that. And so what do? We're in that limbo land of 26 people that I can't hire a 75, or I mean, I guess I could 75K a year HR full-time or whatever. I mean, but that would be, maybe you're right. Maybe that I would get a good ROI on something like that. That could
but
be
an
true.
HR manager isn't going to do like monthly one-on-ones. A manager is going to do a monthly one-on-one. So like, even with 26, right, there's probably 4 or 5 leaders or elder, like, OGs. Can they actually do one-on-ones with, and that's why I was asking for like, is there an org structure? Meaning like, does your middle management, can they meet with your press operators once a month and just check in?
Are you Stephen and Bruce? Are you guys doing one-on-ones?
So we have, like, I have my direct reports, which are like 6 to 7 people, and then they have their direct reports, and everyone has a direct report in the company. Everyone has a direct report, and that direct report, like they're responsible for logging that they have met with them, or like that they've set their, monthly or
Do you
whatever.
think that it's necessarily true that even though you're having that one-on-one every month, that they're going to actually convey that, their position on,
No.
on that, will they
No.
always?
I mean, it's
I
kind
think
of
it
like
helps.
I think it helps, but it's like going like how often there's a book that I love. It's called High Output Management. It says like the most effective way to manage someone is one-on-one. Like you will always get the most output, reciprocity, all of that. So like, can you train your team to have really powerful one-on-ones? Like, to ask the right questions, to make sure they're asking about career progression, happiness, culture, fit. Like,
Right.
do we actually do that? No, we just wait till it's like too late. So like we train, because we work with lots of students, so we train on like how to have a one-on-one meeting. Because it's not easy, and you
Well,
can
that's
watch
what I
really
was going to
bad-
ask is what does a one-on-one look like for you? Do you just bring them in and you're like, hey, tell me how you're feeling?
So
You
like
just do this, or
we have a thing where like the first 8 minutes are spent building rapport and like talking about positive things in each other's lives. So like we build relationship first. It's like and then we like set agenda. So like, what are things that you want to talk about today? Here are things that I want to talk about today. So like that's an agreement to have a conversation. And then you start digging through them. And then like we always say, like, can you focus on one major thing in your one-on-one? Like dig deep into one thing. And like I think that's actually more like sales management, like Kevin Baumgart teaches, like how to have powerful one-on-ones in sales to motivate. And we just kind of like, that's the way I learned. So that's really important to us. And if you were to get on a campus and call, you would hear everyone saying like, okay, 5 to 6 minutes, let's just talk positives and all that.
So
I don't know. We're trying. We're struggling. It's not like it's we've got all the answers.
I used to. So my journey with the one-on-ones is I used to have them biweekly just for direct reports. Then I would reschedule them a bunch because I deprioritize them. And sometimes you have to, like, it's just things are happening, but people I found out actually did not like that. And they like felt like they were just being put aside. And so I really strive to not reschedule if I can. And then I used to ask more like work or project related questions. But I read an article that was just talking about that this should be like a time where it's you just talking about non-work stuff or higher level stuff. Like maybe once a month or I'm sorry, once a quarter, it's more like, what do you really, I'm just curious, like, what do you really like about your job? Or actually, what do you like not as much or you wanted to change or things aren't going well? And actually push on that one more because they're not going to say anything at first. And then like, no, like be like super honest. Like what just don't you like so I can help, fix and you can think about it too. And I've actually gotten better responses now from that I can help start to motivate. Now we had one person that left because kind of this reason, but it was a bit too late. That's my iteration of it.
I think
I feel
I think what we all need to do is go back and watch Good Will Hunting, and when Robin Williams
Together, a movie night.
Yeah, we could do
I-
that. That's
I
probably
would
the movie.
fucking love that.
Goodwill
so-
Hunting is my jam. I love that movie.
So Robin Williams, when first he was talking to Matt Damon, like no words, right? And so he had to meet with him to share, a little bit about himself, and then you sort of have to break down those walls. And so maybe it would do us good to go back and watch that scene, because it sounds sort of like that's what you're saying, is that it has to be a regular thing where you're meeting over and over and over again, and so they're comfortable anyway, so they're comfortable sharing that, actually I'm considering, I have gotten some offers lately. For example, I decided to stay, but honestly, maybe the next one, I feel like I might take it, and so I don't know, but they're not just going to necessarily share that if you're only doing it once a year or
Like-
even
Like
What's
Dylan,
the
I
word?
wonder if you do this without even realizing, like, do you take some of your employees on like walks or like just hangs, like just a couple people, like one or two?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of usually what happens with like steak night and stuff is like we'll start talking about a topic about work or things that we can improve on or Bruce, when you were saying about asking employees if there's anything in their space that we can improve on, I feel like it's something I ask all the time. Like I'll walk up to, Rich in this, screen tech, and I'll be like, well, what can we do in this area to improve? And it's like, all right, well, let's like add drainage here, or let's add like a rack here for this, or let's give you a bigger monitor, or like just certain things. It's like they'll go through their daily tasks with the equipment they have and they won't want to come to me and be like, I think we could improve on this, or can you buy this to improve this? They never want to ask that. But if I walk in and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, like let's make this better, let's do this better.
Mhm.
And then you actually do it, Dylan.
And then I do it. Yeah.
Half of your Instagram is like shop hacks and improvements, but like how great does it feel for an employee if you're like, here's a brand new monitor. I listen to you.
Yeah, it's not falling on
screens.
deaf ears,
Yeah.
Right, and it was
that's
like
actually
one of the
worst.
things that happened recently was like Bill came back and he was printing and he was saying that he would love to like have a pad to stand on, like one of those thick, like super cushy pads to stand on at press. And I bought one to have everyone try out, and everyone was like, yeah, I like these. So then I just bought one for everybody. And it was like something simple like that, where they were just like, oh, if I want to use it, I can get off my feet. If I don't, then I can set it aside. It was just
I was driving in today and I was listening to How I Built This, and he was talking to this dude from he called it Adidas, but it's obviously Adidas, but I think other countries call it Adidas. And he used to be on the team at Adidas that was on the sustainability side of things, because so much of what they make and their apparel and shoes and everything else is made from plastics. And he's like, so, we want to try and change and shift this and do whatever we can. And I thought it was really interesting because what he said because he was given the task to go do this. And he said that the CEO at the time said to him, look, I give you permission to go do this stuff. And if you need advice, then you can come ask me, but don't ask me for permission. Just go do this. And so I think that's really kind of a cool thing that I wish I remembered from it, that I want to do here more, and I probably fail a lot at, is that sometimes I think people, they come up with an idea, like those mats or whatever, and they should just have permission to try them. And then they can come to you for advice about it and say, hey, Dylan, what do you think about which mat it's going to be or whatever? But they should have permission to just go ahead and do some things sometimes, instead of always coming to you, because maybe they're just like, oh man, I'm going to go to him again and he's going to say no or whatever, or yes. But
people feel stoked on that when especially when they ask about that. I'm like, don't even ask me. Like if it's under $50 or something, just do it for the customer or the
right
or whatever.
Yeah, but then you can't get pissed if they do something with their own like. And you don't agree with it.
It doesn't work out, but that's okay. They learn from that though, don't they? They're going to learn.
You have to be like, that's totally, you have to totally, if you're going to give them the autonomy, you have to be okay with them also making the wrong decision.
Yeah. And I feel like that's part of it, is they need to do the wrong thing and then figure out like, yeah, you were right. Like this was a shit idea. And it's kind of like what we talk about in production wise is we're always trying to do the best thing for the best quality. So it's like, if someone has a good idea of the faster way to like load a screen or take a screen out or load a cart or whatever, it's like, if we get together every so often and be like, all right, well, we found out that Zach number one, because both of my press guys are Zach number one found out that if he loads it this way, it's 10 to 20% faster than if you do it the other way. Then we get together and we're like, okay, this is like the new way of doing it. We tried it. Both of you tried it, and this way's faster and more efficient and looks better. Let's do this instead. So it's kind of like I let everyone try different things, and then we go with what works the best. And it's the same with anything else. Like even in the office, like I give them allowances to say, take care of your customers, order samples, do all this stuff. You don't have to come to me every time and be like, can I send them a swag box or something? It's like,
the only one that drives me nuts is redos, or like when they try to overdo it for the customer and you're like, okay, did we just call the customer and see if they would accept it? Like, no, we just thought we would be proactive and rerun the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, like, do we all want to split that cost right here?
My biggest thing with that is shipping. Like, to me, that's the biggest thing where I've noticed when I used to do everything myself was that they'll look at an order and be like, oh, the customer said it had to go out today.
And they'll overnight
we have to overnight it. And I'm like, call the customer and say, do you actually need it by this day? Or do you just wanted it a week early? 9 times out of 10, the customer's like, yeah, just ground it. That's fine. And I'll spend like, the shipping will be like fucking $400 or $500 to overnight it. And I'm like,
amen.
we could have spent $26 to ship this box. And all the reason why we spent $500 is because you didn't want to pick up the phone and say, is it cool if I ship
in
it
our
ground?
notes now, we have event date. We have done so many 2 days and overnights. They're like, yeah, we just saw the date, so we did it. Oh my gosh, that drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's a huge money waste. And it's like they just don't want to pick up the phone. They don't want to be like, hey, and I'm just like, dude, 2-minute phone call. Like, is it cool? Like if we ship this ground today because of so and so happened. And like I said, 9 out of 10, they're like, yeah, that's fine.
Andy doesn't make mistakes, so that's they're perfect.
Yeah. Doesn't happen.
No, not. It's been 10 years.
He doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah. What's that? What do you mean? What's mistake?
Do you want some listener questions?
I haven't had a chance to tell the story of the Chinese farmer though.
Okay. Chinese farmer it up.
Yeah. So this is the story that Alan Watts told. And if you ever have a chance, definitely go to YouTube and look this up and watch it because it's, I just love this story. And it was sent to me at that one shop, a guy who we toured his shop and we have become friends and go back and forth. But here's how the story goes. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer whose horse ran away. And that evening, all of his neighbors came around and they said, well, that's too bad. And he said, maybe. And the next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. And then all the neighbors came around and they said, well, that's great, isn't it? And he said, maybe. And then the next day, his son was attempting to tame one of the horses and was riding it and was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came and said, well, that's too bad, isn't it? And the farmer said, maybe. And the next day, the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came around and said, isn't that wonderful? And he said, maybe. He said, so the whole process of nature is an integrated process of immense complexity. And it is really impossible to tell whether anything that happens in it is good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of the misfortune. Or,
Sorry,
this is actually a really funny story.
This is great.
Go, keep going.
Keep going.
You never know what the consequences of good fortune is. What happened?
We're texting
It
each other.
just sounded like you were like a pastor right now. That's why
I saw all these texts happening, and I'm like, what the fuck was happening? Hold on.
Farrick texted, is Andy reading the Bible? And I wrote, yes, 3:16.
Okay, well, how about this? Fuck you guys, and I hope that that a lot of misfortune comes your way. There you go. But if it does,
I'll say maybe.
Yeah. If it does, think of me, and think of me when you're bummed
Skip
out.
to the last part.
And so the most important thing is that, hey, when the shit hits the fan, or when somebody leaves, or when whatever happens, is it a bad thing or is it a good thing? I think that I think you just never know, and so that's why it was, for me anyway, it was relieving when I saw that, because I was pretty upset, and I was like, well, wait a second, well, maybe it's an okay thing that all this stuff happened.
I agree with you, Andy. I feel like it's it generally depends on your outlook on life, but I feel like when a lot of that shitty stuff happens, at least for me, like me and my dad talk all the time about how we have the fucking worst luck with everything, but usually when that bad thing happens, we learn from it and then we create something even better than what we had before. So
yeah,
I feel like that's what you're going through, and that's what we're all going through, and that's we're better for it now.
I can't wait to watch this part back just to see what the fuck you were doing.
Dude, I lost it. I mean, and when I saw Dylan was just like really trying, I should have muted that way and didn't throw you off.
From I don't know if it was the last episode or a couple episodes ago, I told everybody what Dylan does because he can't stand this sort of shit. Like when it's really happening, but then he'll always call and always look for that feeling talk. And so it's just a front. Like Dylan's fronting right now. It's like whatever, it's no big deal.
Yeah,
but I'm fine. I'm cool.
You're hitting him in the
I'm gonna
feels.
call Andy and cry out as soon as this is over.
You know, that is I think that's the episode is like literally it is perspective on it. It's like you can look at so many different things from different ways, but you're right. It's like, okay, better opportunity, better person. Well, once you internalize it, I think the first day is definitely like a oh shit moment. But
All right, let's do some listener questions so we can go back to work.
Well, Dylan, while you're looking for those things, I wrote down a couple of ideas. These are really fast. I'll just whip through them. What are some employee retention strategies? Number one, stay. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. A stay interview instead of an exit one. 401k, group health, more PTO, and then maybe consider bringing some people back that have recently left. I mean, that occurred to me a minute ago. I know of a perfect person that might actually work out well for one of our roles. And I could check in and say, hey, I know you left for this reason. And how is it going? And is that still a valid reason? And maybe you would consider coming back. As far as attracting the right talent, I wrote down offer opportunities for growth, social media presence. I think that's really important now. I think if I'm considering working somewhere, one of the first things I'm going to do is look at their social media. Like, do they even have it? I think that that sort of tells a lot about a company. And in fact, also, if you're looking to hire somebody, isn't it cool to look at their social media? What are they doing? Are they doing beer bongs in every photo, or maybe that's the type of person you want. I don't know. And then, attracting the right talent. I'm on internships. We have had 2 recent hires off of internships. Isn't that a wonderful way? Because Dylan, you were
Don't mention interns to Steven's crew.
you were talking about a trial week or whatever. Well, you could do an internship. It could be paid or unpaid. We've always paid our internships, but I have 2 people here right now that are both in lead roles that are fucking awesome. And they came here off of internships. And then number 4, pay better than your competition. I mean, I always have said that I want people to feel like they are being paid more than fair. Like it's in their favor, slightly tipped. The scale is slightly tipped to their favor, because then when a competitor says, hey, I'll pay you more, it's a lot harder for them to say that, especially once they hear how much Shirkong pays. And so I've always tried to do that. And those are my little recap parts there.
love it.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So poor Morgan asks, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized Dylans or 1 horse-sized Andy?
I feel like the horse-sized Andy would
The
be
horse-sized
very,
Andy. Just hearing his
tempered.
Yeah.
You just have to feed him an apple and you're friends again.
Yeah. Pet his little mane.
I would like to see what 100 duck-sized me's is like, though. Probably just bite your feet.
Be annoying.
Let's see. Jared from AKT asks, what is a Printavo feature that you really want but know will never happen?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Man, Bruce, I gave you like a list of like 100.
Well, I mean, realistically, it's like something you would be like, oh, that'd be fucking amazing. But like the technology's just not there, or there's no way to actually gather that data.
I think HR. I think if it just handles all of your HR issues, that would be wonderful. Bruce, can you write that code maybe in the next couple of weeks?
I'm on it.
Do you have a response for that question?
Is that a question to Bruce or to me?
Yeah, I mean both of you. I mean, Bruce is fucking gone right now. He's in another planet.
Bruce is like, he's like, what is he gonna say?
Sorry,
What is he
dude,
gonna say?
Totally
What is he gonna say?
zonked.
What's a feature that's never gonna happen, Bruce?
Bruce is like, please edit this out.
Bruce,
Never.
I'll give one that's the roadblocks. Like you won't be able to connect your presses until the presses make them connectable.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, we could always work around that with the Raspberry Pi stuff, like you're talking about.
What are you gonna build a little box?
Well, it's kind of like you were talking about in the beginning. It'd be nice if you had that data of like different niche style shops and what their highs and lows, busy seasons were, and slow times and stuff like that's. I mean, that's could be attainable, I guess. You just have to figure out how. But
I think long term, I'd love to just build everything though, like in a like that, like what Shopify did. But you're talking like 50 years out, so
Old man Bruce. Yeah.
yeah, won't be able to even use a keyboard at that point.
just rub your forehead and shit happens. All right. This was a question that Matt actually asked, but I kind of have my own take on this question. Is Marcotte asks, when did you know you were in love with Matt Marcotte? But my question isn't that is what was Printavo thinking when they were like, we need to get someone like Matt on? Because I feel like that was honestly, I feel like that was a real good turning point for you guys when you had Matt, because you had someone that was super screen printer friendly, knowledgeable person to talk screen printing knowledge to printers. Because before that, it was a lot of like salespeople that know like your program and code. They don't know a lot
Bruce,
about the shop.
when did you decide that was a great idea? Who was the smart person that introed you?
I don't. Did you intro us? I was talking to Matt for like a few years, and we would always toyed with it. I was like, dude, you should come on, you should come on. And then when the opportunity arose, I was like, whoa, okay, it's actually happened. And then I asked Farrah, was like, what do you think? He's like, it's no brainer. So that's what really tipped it over. But it was just always an alignment. Like he was doing other stuff and we were doing other stuff. And it's hard to find somebody with industry experience that also applies really well to the roles that we needed in a tech company. Because it's always this like do you try to find somebody and train them on the space, or do you find someone in the space and try to train them on what you need? I don't really know what's better. But I think it was awesome.
I think what's really cool about Marcotte is like he comes into our shop and can train us on water-based printing. He can come into our shop and automate. Like he's run. Right. I mean, it's kind of like if Ryan Kasperian learned fucking Printavo, maybe he'll be valuable.
Let's
it's
be
just
honest.
like you kind of. I don't mean to pump up Matt, but it's like you really kind of got lucky with him a little bit because he does know a shitload about the shop. He is also seems to be very like tech savvy with figuring out and knowing a bunch of stuff about Printavo, but he's also really good on camera.
He is. And like I was going to say, as far as pumping up Matt, let's be honest, the real reason is his workout routine. I mean, if you watch that story on Instagram,
rise and grind,
dude,
it's motivating actually.
That's a guy I want on my team.
Oh, I got to get to the gym today. Yeah, you see that. I can't do the morning workouts.
We all love Matt, I think is what we're getting at.
Yeah. Did he write this in?
Yes, he did. He paid me to say it.
He's a sponsor?
Yeah. Let's see. How do you currently juggle your work-home balance, and how do you improve it? Do you guys have that issue?
Yeah, I don't believe you can. So I've just given up, and that's why I'm just like pure work. It's easier that way because then you like realize
you just work from home, and it's fine. It's all work home.
It's all big. I just don't know how you have that like as a business owner. Like even if you're not working and you're off your laptop, I feel like you're just always thinking about it. Or I'm like always setting reminders for stuff to do later, or responding back to emails or Slacks when I can.
Yeah, this is hard.
We should ask the wives though. I think that's a better.
So like I keep our weekends pretty off. Like we do not touch weekends. We don't work on the weekends. Like Sundays are off limits. I try to really disconnect. There's Cursette. Are you getting Cursette on here?
No, just this couch cleaner. Hold on one sec.
Couch cleaner?
It's badly stained. Badly.
Bruce, you're supposed to put a towel down first.
But it's something like we're working on is like Carson she doesn't own her company, and so she can stop working at 5 o'clock. Yeah. And if I don't stop working, like I could work through the night because you just kind of keep putzing around. So we have my rule is I try to keep my laptop as closed as possible.
It was like last night. I came back here at 9 and I was here till 12:30. And it was just like there was just some shit I
Wow.
wanted to get done.
Yeah. What about you, Andy? How do you figure out balance?
I used to be terrible at it, and it was way out of balance. Um, I think that
Where you
it,
you just effed off all the time, like you didn't work.
I hardly was
basically-
here.
Yeah.
No, the opposite, really. I think that and I think that I was okay with it then, though. So it wasn't necessarily, I think some people would consider it out of balance, but it wasn't out of balance for me. And so initially, anyway, because I was fighting for survival. No way was I going to let this place fail. And so I did everything I could, and I was determined to make it succeed. And so part of that is being here a lot, including Saturdays, like you just said, including Sundays. It didn't matter, including till midnight. It just didn't matter. But all of a sudden, you reach a certain level of success, and you start contemplating, that work-life balance. And you say, wait a second, I can't get that Saturday back. I can't get that Sunday back. And is it still important to the success of my business? And so. And that's difficult to shift because I was sort of programmed, I had that routine and it was set. I had created this in my head that this was normal. And so it was really hard to break that habit. And so I started to just not come in, at all, like you just said, on weekends. And so, and then it turned into a week. Like, can I actually be gone for a week or 2 weeks? And so the first time we did that was in 2019. It was like one of the greatest things we did. We actually detached for almost 3 weeks, and it was crazy to reset quite like that. And so anyway, I think that there just comes a point in your life, and maybe the life of your business too, that you need to really check your priorities and make sure it's still okay, because for everyone it's different. For some people, 30 hours is too much, and other people 60 hours is where it's at. And so I wouldn't let anybody tell you what's normal or what you should be doing, except for maybe your significant other, because you don't want to lose. You certainly don't want. I think that's more important, obviously, your significant other than your business in the end. And so you have to make that decision. But for me, that's sort of how I did it. And now it's really close to being perfect. Like I am living the dream as far as hours that I put in here, because it's not about the P&Ls anymore. If we don't make as much, in the month of May 2022 compared to 2021, I don't care. It's just not a thing that affects me anymore. And but whereas I totally get if it is, and I totally get that it used to for me. And I was just that person. But anyway, that's sort of my take.
You're in a good spot.
Can we
Well,
do
on
a
that-
full episode on this, by the way, too?
We did a full. This was supposed to be 40 minutes. What the heck?
We don't do 40 minutes, guys. What's the difference?
I mean, on work life too. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
we could go on work life. I think. Yeah.
I think it's pretty important, especially.
This is
Well,
wow.
it
This
goes
is
deep.
real life Shitavo. This is this is a new reality TV show. I wish there was a reality TV show on a print shop like OC Choppers, but like a really cool
We've
shop.
thought about it. We've talked
So
about
we,
how that would be, but I feel like it gets to the point with all those shows where they have to throw in a ton of drama that's not real, and I feel like it would just destroy that shop.
Ouija's just chucking it. Well, you need to sell it as a show. Like we need to take it to producers, get it,
Yeah.
and like
I think it'd be really hard, especially sharing. I think that obviously you would have to sign off all sorts of things, right? Lawsuit wise, because some of the stuff that's said or some of the stuff that could be said, how much can you share, in other words?
Yeah, we
without
can't
getting
do we
yourself-
can't do my shop, but I would be canceled by a long time.
And he's looking back like, could we do it here? Do you have space for the cameras?
I'm
I
not
have that
doing it.
backup beep 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 sound. I don't know who.
Maybe
It's a
someone's
trailer full
driving
of
a truck
shirts.
Can you
through
hear
your
that?
shop.
No.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Stop backing up.
actually.
Well, I'm glad we got together to do this again. Part 2 has been fun. I appreciate
two's
all of
good.
you.
Same. I like
Congrats
this.
on
It's
100
fun.
episodes. You guys
Thank
need
you.
Seriously.
That's a grind.
Mm.
Seriously.
Here's to 100 more, bud.
Yeah, don't you dare try and sign off without finding out what is for lunch. I mean,
I'm waiting on you.
Okay. So Bruce, what are you having for lunch?
Okay. I asked Justin from Barrel Maker what he does for lunch because I wanted to not eat out so much because I think it's just like really salty.
Wait,
And
Bruce, should we
everything.
both text in what we're gonna eat for lunch and see if it's the same thing?
So 1,
Ready?
2,
2,
3.
3. Chicken Caesar salad.
Holy crap! Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why a
that's it.
chicken Caesar? What's up with?
because they're really
think-
easy to make.
I
It's
love
like
chicken
chicken,
Caesar.
so it's got protein, and then although it should be some veggies in there too.
The
but maybe
croutons
that
and
was
cheese.
I mean, that's
Great.
like carb, you know.
I know. I'm saying that's what makes it amazing. Like I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy.
Oh yeah,
for you.
yeah.
I love a
Extra
chicken
cheese.
Caesar.
So yeah, that's gonna be tasty.
Oh, I'm gonna get a chicken salad.
What are you guys having?
Andy, you finishing
Hot
off
dogs.
with a chicken salad?
All
No,
right,
I'm
wait.
going hot
Andy,
dogs.
Andy, and Dylan on 3. Well, oh, you already said hot dog. Never mind.
Uncooked hot dogs.
Ugh.
I don't know. I now I kind of want a chicken Caesar for lunch, so I might do
The
that.
wraps are super good too.
Mm.
I haven't had one in a while. Ooh, I got also Dylan sweet. I got some tea.
You said sweet, you asshole.
No. I said it's sweet. It says sweet 0 sugar. I've never seen that they have that for tea.
I don't know.
I need a little bit of sweetness in the tea because like unsweet's hard after a while.
We go hard here.
I just held up my microwave meal, which was
Stofers.
penne a la vodka, extra vodka. Jojo, show me your throw me. That's what she's
Ooh.
having.
Oh boy.
You know, if you take a microwave meal and you put it on a nice plate, it doesn't feel as bad when you eat it.
Like Andy's gourmet.
That's what Freshly said. Yeah. I just get too lazy though. I'm like, but then I got the
I'm
plate.
like, I'm
and
gonna
I gotta-
microwave it and plate it. Looks great.
Gentlemen, love you.
Bye.
Farewell,
Bye,
friends.
boys.
See y'all.
We'll see you
Take
later.
it easy. Have a great day.